She killed her husband, seduced the king, and seized the throne of the greatest empire of antiquity. Her beauty drove men mad, and her cruelty made entire nations tremble. The story you are about to hear is so astonishing that many historians refuse to believe it was true. Welcome to the channel Fateful Women of the Ages. Here we examine and discuss the fates of women whose willpower and determination had an indelible, truly fateful impact on history. Ancient Assyria, 9th century BC. An empire ruled by the laws of war and blood. But it was not a warrior who sat on its throne, but a woman. Her name was Semiramis. Some called her a goddess, others a demon incarnate. But who was she really? Today we will look at one of the most mysterious stories of the ancient world. Her origins are shrouded in legend. According to one version, Semiramis was the daughter of the Syrian goddess Derkito and a mere mortal. Ashamed of this union, the goddess abandoned the baby in the desert to certain death. But a flock of pigeons saved the girl, bringing her food until shepherds found her. But the truth was much more prosaic and dangerous. In fact, Semiramis was born into the family of a priestess of the temple of Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. From childhood, she was taught the art of seduction and manipulation, preparing her for a special mission. By the age of 16, her beauty was already legendary. Her long black hair, piercing gaze, and sensual lips drove any man mad. But Semiramis knew that beauty was a weapon that had to be wielded skillfully. She was noticed by Hans, one of the military commanders of King Nin, ruler of the Assyrian Empire. He was charmed, blinded, obsessed. Hans took Semiramis as his wife, and she became his shadow on the battlefield. During the siege of the impregnable fortress of Bactra, something incredible happened. King Ninus' commanders had been unable to take the city for months, and then she appeared on the battlefield, Semiramis. With cold calculation, she studied the fortifications and found a weak spot. Her plan was ingenious and ruthless. The fortress fell in one night. King Nin was struck not by military cunning, but by Semiramis herself. Nin desired her, not as a concubine, but as a queen. He offered Ans in exchange, any woman from the royal harem for Semiramis. Ans refused. He loved her madly. Then the king resorted to force. He threatened to blind Ans and strip him of all his titles. Tormented by emotional anguish, Ans hanged himself in his tent. And Semiramis, she did not shed a single tear. 3 days later, she became the wife of King Nin. Semiramis was no ordinary queen. She attended military councils, commanded troops, and made decisions. Nin was an aging warrior, and she was a young predator thirsty for power. She bore him a son, Ninias. It seemed that the dynasty was secure, but Semiramis was already weaving her web. 2 years later, King Nin suddenly died. The official version was illness, but there were whispers in the palace about poison. Semiramis did not give anyone time to recover. She announced, "The king is alive, but he needs rest. I will rule on his behalf." Dressed in royal robes and wearing a beard, a symbol of power in Assyria, she sat on the throne. By the time the deception was revealed, it was too late. The army, officials, and priests all obeyed her. Her young son Nini was a puppet. Semiramis became the real ruler of Assyria. For 42 years, she ruled the greatest empire of antiquity. During this time, Semiramis conquered Egypt, Ethiopia, and most of Asia. Her armies reached as far as India. She personally led military campaigns, dressed in armor, built a new Babylon with its famous hanging gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the world. The city was surrounded by walls so thick that 4 chariots could drive side by side on them. But her cruelty knew no bounds. Those who dared to contradict her faced a painful death. She turned defeated kings into her lovers and then executed them so that no one would learn her secrets. But power made her paranoid. She saw conspiracies everywhere. Even her own son, the grown-up Ninus, became a threat to her. According to legend, Semiramis learned of a prophecy. Her own son would kill her. She decided to strike first. But Ninus, learning of her plans, gathered loyal warriors. The queen was caught off guard in her chambers. According to one version, she turned into a dove and flew away, a symbol of her divine origin. According to another, she threw herself into a funeral pyre, preferring death to the shame of captivity. But the truth, as always, turned out to be more prosaic. The aging Semiramis was overthrown by her son and imprisoned, where she spent the rest of her days in complete oblivion. She who ruled the world died alone, forgotten even by her servants. Semiramis became a symbol of the femme fatale, beautiful, ruthless, and all-powerful. Historians still argue whether she really existed or was a composite image of several queens. One thing is certain, her name has survived for millennia. It has become synonymous with female power achieved at any cost. Beauty, intrigue, betrayal, and blood, such was the path of the legendary queen of Assyria. What do you think about the story of this strong woman? Could she have acted differently in those bloody times, surrounded by powerful and cruel men? Leave your opinion in the comments and click subscribe to participate in reviews and discussions of future stories.